Hello, magical people. Today, I just wanted to sort of talk a little bit about the notion of space, particularly with regards to some things that I've been thinking about uh, as it pertains to my own experiences. And I'm kind of looking at it right now through the lens of holding space for others, cultivating space, or taking up space. And it's not really like there's an or and that these things are opposed to one another anyway, inherently, but they sure can show up that way. And I've been kind of thinking about how when I was younger, I really struggled to take up space. And it wasn't even something that I thought about at the time. This is more like sort of metacogniting about my own past and just sort of observing all of the discomfort that I had around the idea of taking up space. This can show up in terms of being overly accommodating or people pleasing or things like that. And somewhere along the way, I sort of recognized that to hold space for others, which is, I think, probably one of my more inherent gifts, I guess you'd say, while that is unbelievably important, it is just as important to hold space for yourself. And that sometimes holding space for yourself looks an awful lot like taking up space. And that can be a little bit scary. And I've just been kind of thinking about how much more comfortable I am now, comparatively, with the idea of taking up space, with putting my thoughts and my words and myself out there in some way. And I think that an important part of the journey for me to bring more balance from just holding space to also taking up space, I think along the way is where I really dipped into the notion of cultivating space. And in that framing, what I'm kind of meaning is like the literal, actual physical space of a place. And cultivating that can look like just sort of setting the vibe. It can be very ephemeral things like um, just color and lighting and how that subtly influences a space. And of course, it can certainly include decor and lighting and furniture and all of those things. And I think that when I lived in this house by myself for the first time, that was kind of the first time really that I'd had a whole space to take up and to fill with whatever sort of vibe I wanted to create. And I mean, you've seen bits and pieces of my place here and there. This place is real cute, and like, of course, the house itself is cute, and I had nothing to do with that. But the way that I've sort of decorated it and the kind of lighting that I use and the sort of things that I like to make to put on display, and obviously, the energy that houseplants bring to a place. Um, that was the first time I really openly played with a lot of those things. And it's been really awesome for myself to create and cultivate a space that feels good to me to be in. But in cultivating that space for myself and for guests or people who come over and hang out, um, in cultivating that space, I've also taken up quite a bit of space and sort of spread my energy around here. And there's been so much validation, and people have been, kind enough to tell me that, this space looks nice, it feels good to be here, they enjoy it. Even people on videos will sometimes remark on it. And all of that validation and positive feedback about sort of taking up space by proxy of cultivating a space was really important to me to then take that next step in actually taking up space and being out in the world in the way that I want to be out in the world and standing up for things that I think are good and true and correct and just sharing the things that I have to say. So I'm curious about how you all feel about your own journeys with relation to space. Are you a person who came at it from the other angle, where you always felt rightfully entitled to taking up space as a human being and having your own thoughts and ideas, and if instead your journey has been more towards how to hold space for others? So I don't know. It's an interesting notion that I've been thinking about, and it's kind of a fun lens to sort of look at my life through, both present day as well as historical life experiences. So that's all. Nothing really super profound, just a couple of things that I've noticed that maybe will spark some interesting thoughts in you. And yeah, that's it. So, my friends, don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourselves, and I will see you soon.